All right, Bigelow on Campus, Season 3, Episode 11. Play it again, Samurai. This is, I would say it's a weird episode, but not as weird as some other episodes in this season. You know? But, yeah, one thing I want to note before we go is there was like a storyline at the end of last season that just kind of got dropped. We were 11 episodes in, and that has never gotten picked up on again. That was Merlin and Lori kissed. It hurt Tommy, real bad, because their breakup was kind of stupid. And then, mostly because the writers didn't want them to be a couple, I guess. And then they put that little plot to it at the end of the season. And then Merton turns to stone. And then when season 3 begins, they don't mention it at all. Other than Merton's little hey to her. Other than that, there's no mention. So I say that because in this episode, Merton has a new love interest, at least for this episode. But if you went into this episode with the name of the episode in mind, in your head, play it against Samurai. Okay, this episode starts out weird. Tommy and Lori are sparring just outside the Hungry Bucket, and Lori's like, "Hey, take it easy on me." He's like, "Okay," so he unleashes full power, or at least a lot of power, and ends up crashing into the Hungry Bucket. Long story short, he gets juvie, even though he gets in trouble with juvie, even though it's been established that they're 18 at this point. So that's not juvenile, that's that's crime. But yeah, so now to work it off, he has to work at the Hungry Bucket for the man who is the manager with cheese and mustache, and he has to, the man wants to put him, welcome to Hungry Bucket, what can I get you? Put him up there, customer service, but you're not ready for prime time, so he makes him clean the toilets. Now he's got him in this weird outfit. It's like a red and white striped unitard with this weird little thingies on the shoulder and this big chicken bucket hat. Not from experience, but as a janitor, someone who cleans toilets for a living, you cannot wear a hat like that when you're cleaning toilets, man. There's no room for that when you're in a bathroom. This is a giant bathroom, I guess, but it wouldn't be, it's not practical. And even later when he's cleaning gum off the bottom of the tables, why would there be gum at the Hungry Bucket? I guess if you're chewing gum and you come in and put it on it, I don't know. I've never gotten the whole put gum underneath your table thing. I don't think, maybe I did it once when I was a kid, but I never, not something I often do, because I think I got yelled at for it. But anyway, the main story, if you will, is that Merton has fallen for this Japanese woman named Kyuki, who, despite the fact that she really likes Merton, says they cannot be together. Says they are too different. And so Merton, taking that literally, meaning they are too different, decides to dress in a Japanese kimono and do Japanese dance and speak in Japanese, and it's very problematic. Like this, you would know. There are stuff, when you grew up, that you just wouldn't. It's like Mickey Rooney and Breakfast at Tiffany's. Something you're just like, or Long Duck Dong and 16 Candles, oh, that is an Asian person, but it's just that sort of thing where you just, it's of the time. And, having a white Canadian man dressed like a Japanese person and speak Japanese, and it's just, when he came out, I went, okay. So he took that as a meaning, like, oh, you're Japanese, I'm not. So he's speaking Japanese, he's doing Japanese dancing. But she says they still cannot. But he kisses her, sneaks a kiss, and that causes problems. Because we soon find out that there is a curse upon this Kyuki. Lori is the one that knows, hey, a girl checking you out. Or Tommy knows, and she's like, hey, she looks familiar. I guess. We'll get to that. But, so the samurai warrior guy comes after Merton. And that's when Lori remembers the story. So she said, well, I'll meet you in the lair. The lair is now, like, Japanese-ified. They're sitting on the floor, they're eating sushi. I'm just like, what is this episode? What is going on? Why? Huh? Why is the lair Japanese-ified? Was he planning on bringing her back to the lair? Oh! Merton, you dog. But no, it's just, it's weird. It's weird. It's weird. But, yes, it turns out that this prince, the samurai prince, whatever, was in love with, I think his name was Kenzo, which is very stereotypical Japanese name, but was in love with Kyuki, and she refused to marry him, so he put upon a curse that if any man were to defile her lips, he would kill them. And so I guess it's happened 2 times before, which means she's been keeping a very low profile over these centuries. But Merton kissed her, and so now he's after Merton, and he's, okay, I got a werewolf friend, but Tommy's like, gotta go, because he's the Hungry Bucket thing, which kind of serves to keep Tommy busy in this. It's a Merton-centric episode, so there's that, but to keep Tommy busy in this. Meanwhile, the man, who I must remind you is the manager of the Hungry Bucket, has a thing for Lori, so Tommy, he tells Tommy, hey, the man will work all your hours if you give me a date with Lori. So Lori agrees. Although I'm not exactly sure how that would go after the end of this, but yeah. Eventually, though, it comes down to the samurai is going to kill Merton. Excuse me, he's going to kill Merton, but Kyuki decides, no, I'll marry you, I'll do it. We do find out that the only way to break this curse is for the samurai to kiss another woman, which, he would never do. Circumstances are created. So he takes Merton for collateral, who is dressed like a sumo wrestler. It's not an episode you would have today. I believe they would call it Yellowface. I don't know. It's not an episode you would have today. It's not. It's really not. But, Merton is tied up, right? And they set forth the wedding, her and Lori. Get her ready. She's all dressed up in Japanese garb. The samurai's like, okay, you take me, love and cherish, blah, blah, blah. May now kiss the bride. So he kisses her. Then Tommy shows up and goes, hey, buddy, how's it going? He goes, Tommy, my girlfriend just married a evil samurai prince. No, he didn't. No, she didn't. Because Kyuki comes from behind a tree. It turns out it was Lori that he kissed, so the curse is broken. But Merton's like, I'm still in danger, because he's still tied up. And the samurai gets his samurai armor, which is in the thumbnail of this, decides to take them all on, and it turns into a kung fu movie, complete with lips that don't match the words that are coming out, and it's very, I will defeat you. You cannot stop me. I am Oakman. Ha, oh, Lori, we'll beat them together. Ha, here. That sort of thing. And I'm just going, as weird as this episode is, it gets weirder than this. Like, there's weirder stuff. I promise you, it gets weirder. But, this is certainly a highlight of weirdness. Yeah, so they have a fight, and they end up crashing through the Hungry Bucket again, and Tommy, Merton, and Lori this time have to work for the Hungry Bucket. And now she's freed from the curse. Samurai says he's gonna go up to Christy Yamaguchi. Merton says, I think she has a boyfriend, but he's like, he will pay. And then after all this, Merton helping free her from the curse, she's like, nah, I'll go find someone else, and takes off. Because, well, you can't have any other recurring characters or a through line for storytelling. You know, season 1 had a good through line where he's always trying to get with Stacy, which got a little repetitive. And then the whole Lori thing with the love triangle, and that went kind of nowhere. And then this season is just a bunch of one-offs, it seems. There's no continuous story, really. Well, until the later few episodes, I think, there's a character that comes in that kind of has a through line. But other than that, it's just, I don't know. And it does work for syndication value or replay, rerun value, where they could play him out of order and he kind of wouldn't need to, you know? Need to know stuff. With season 3, you can play every episode out of order. And I don't think you would need, that there would need to be to watch each episode in order, because it's kind of just, except for like the last few, like I said. But yeah, it was fine. It was weird. It was problematic for this day and age, but, you know, it was fine. On to the next one, though.